From the Wherever I May Roam studio, this is the Youth Gone Mild podcast, where hairlines fade, but rock never does. I'm your host, Gen X Joe. On this podcast, I sit down with the legends and the voices who have built the foundation of rock behind the songs that we crank way too loud today. But we're not just looking back. We're also turning up the volume on the new blood, carving their own path in rock with fresh energy, ideas, and a whole lot of attitude. So, for you old heads like me, think of the Youth Gone Mild podcast as your liner notes to the stories and the news from the artists we worshipped and from the new blood keeping that bick lit. And as for you Gen Zs and younger listeners, if you're listening, and if you are, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, you're bumping up the volume on the Youth Gone Mild podcast and learning a little about the music that came before you and discovering new artists that keeps me rocking like dockin'. Yeah, go ahead, figure out what that means. I'll wait. So, whether you grew up spinning vinyl, wearing out cassette tapes, collecting CDs, loading up MP3s, or streaming your favorite bands of today, settle in, get ready for another conversation with the artist that keeps rock alive and kicking. Once again, I'm Gen X Joe, and this is today's Youth Gone Mild podcast interview.
What's going on, man?
What's happening, brother? And I forget, is it video in the end or audio in the end?
It's just going to be audio.
Oh, good. Oh, I can relax in.
I don't know if you know who Chris Sniper Heinlein is from the Midnight Devils.
I don't. No, no. Who is that?
Okay, so he did the interview in a T-shirt and a towel. That was it. No briefs, no shorts, nothing.
Rules. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I think you're good.
Okay, good. Yeah, I just want to for positioning and all that. I because I'm on the phone. Because I learned my lesson. My fucking desktop. I mean, I shit the bed before I got on social media. I did a podcast, and unfortunately, it was like a decent audio. It's like a thing where this guy interviews producers, right?
Mhm.
And man, in the audio, I didn't know my desktop was just rotten, and I was all over the place. It was a disaster. I made him take it down eventually because people were just bagging on me. It was an awful entry back into the internet for me. And it taught me a lesson. And so when I went after social media, I just started focusing on getting used to doing it and being on camera and all that stuff. But man, point being, I learned the phone sounds a lot fucking better. It really does, for me at least. I don't have a microphone and everything hooked up for my desktop, or I would use that all the time. But Apple does a pretty good job with the little mic on the damn thing on the phone. Most of those podcasts, all those shorts. I mean, I just had one did 1 million views, man. Fuck.
I know, dude. I love your shorts, man, that you do on there.
Yeah, the documentaries have gone really good. You know, unfortunately, I got a lot of people that like me doing the comedy ones, but they don't really get the algorithm rocking. I mean, it's unbelievable. If I do stuff that's interesting that has to do with history or music or anything like, I get so many fucking views. I had 2 videos now, 800,000 since we did the podcast together last time, and then another one that just hit 1.1 million. I'd be an idiot not to follow that path. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. I wish I had all that.
Yeah, I somehow lucked into it, and it has really very little to do with who I am or anything like that. Like most of the people that are watching those things, they only figure out who I am after they've already seen it. It's somehow just, I don't know. It's like a complete luck shot. It's just a surprise, really. I'm like, fuck. I mean, it doesn't make me any money or do anything, but it does put me out there and give me exposure, which is cool. Why not? And it's pretty easy to do them. And I get fascinated when I research them. And I'm like, God damn, okay, this is really like I don't know if you saw the one about cover songs, right? That one went to 1.1, right? Million people watched that fucking thing.
I did. You started it out with Cats in the Cradle.
Yeah. and I threw the plug of Ugly Kid up front. They better thank me if I put them fuckers in front of 1,000,000 people right up top in the first hook of the goddamn thing, and that's the important part of the video. But the retention time I got on that, I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. So you working on anything new now with social media?
I mean, my girlfriend's in it, right? She does it for a living for other clients and things like that. So we're both, while I'm sitting here on CapCut editing, she's back in her office right there editing away too, doing the same shit for Floyd Nations, a Pink Floyd tribute band. It's pretty big, and she does them and so some other clients. But she's the one that kept reminding me, because yeah, it's a roller coaster ride. She would remind me that I just would probably just stick to the music thing and what people have already liked, since I got a few of those that went pretty big a long time ago, even with the metal guitar history of guitar thing. And so she's right, it's like, and what happened was I got addicted to I started following all these funny reel makers. I'm a big fan of a lot of them, and I started doing some myself, and people liked them. They didn't go big, but the Shroom reel did do like 200,000 views. But the fact is, and I read about it, she kept telling me, when you get a big reel like I did, I had the first big one was about the Midnight Special. That went to 800,000, right? Well, the algorithm's confused of who your fucking audience really is. And so if you study it, it takes a lot longer. If you're going to do two different things on the same channel, like it takes you forever to try to build an audience. And so streamlining, if you want to get a bigger audience, is pretty much the way to go. So I'm going to have to kind of not get rid of the comedy shorts, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to steer them into being music related now. And oddly enough, the stupid ones, like I'm sitting at sushi in the loudness thing, I don't know if you saw that, but that got a lot of views. And I'm like, okay, well, everything that's related to music, because the algorithm's got me in the music thing, because I've had reels that do good on it. And plus, it looks at your description of what you say you are. My title says, music producer, mixer, musician, and so I can't have that much fun because trust me, dude, the comedy reels are fucking fun to make and have friends fucking laugh at you. It's pretty fun.
I absolutely love
But
the one about being a parent and you drove the car off the cliff.
oh yeah, I mean, even Amy Lee, man, I went and saw her up in Tampa, right? She fucking loved that. She loves that video, because most people do. Unfortunately, but still, it even in such a great video for. I love doing those for my friends. It does kill a little bit. It takes me off of the path of the algorithm. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to keep rocking those, But I'll still do some comedy ones. But that was a knockout punch. That one was it for my friends. I mean, numbers wise, it didn't get anywhere near what the ones that have factual stuff. And just for your own sake, or anyone else that's listening that does social media, the whole game, and I've seen it now, I've been in 6 months, right? Is about whether it's shareable and people can make a conversation about it. The algorithm is looking for that one thing the most. If you don't get any shares, well, the algorithm's not going to play it for anybody. But if people keep sharing it, it keeps spreading it and spreading it. It's unbelievable how many people shared that video, not only of the Midnight Special, but the one about the cover songs, because people can, and half the time, look, it's part of the game is the not hate engagement, but the opposing engagement, right? People like to speak up and say, "Oh, well, you forgot this and that." So you have to get used to that. But if you're in that game, thinking of things that people can actually interact with, will get you a lot farther. You know, if it's possible, if I had a channel dedicated. I mean, that'd be hard to start with no followers. But if I had a channel dedicated to just doing the comedy shorts, maybe it would go somewhere. I don't know. Not worth it. I don't have that much time on my damn hands. I got a little bit, and I can dedicate it to at least the music reels, and cover some of the album. And it also gives me a chance to plug shit. If I got that many people looking at them periodically.
Absolutely. Now, you said you got a little bit of downtime. Are you working on any music projects right now, doing production work?
Yeah, they're coming right up. Another animal, Wit and Shannon and all those guys, Shannon Larkin and Tony from Godsmack, ex members of Godsmack. And Whit Crane, of course, our singer Ugly Kid Joe. They're doing already did 5 that we did, and I mixed for them, souped them up, made them all badass, and so they that came out so good. They're going to do 5 more. So I have Lee Richards, who's one of the main writers in the band, and Whit coming, and they'll probably so far they want to come here and do vocals, and then I'll mix it after. But yeah, that's coming up. James Lofalo, yeah, so another guy that I kind of liked his stuff, and I was like, fuck, I'll mix this because I mean, as like the reflection of my glasses is a fucking page with plugins on it. I'm a fucking audio fucking nerd, dude. I can't quit. I mean, if these motherfuckers don't make me go broke, I don't know what will, but I can't quit buying fucking plugins because I keep making them, and I keep discovering different shit that sounds amazing. Point being that I'll take on stuff even if it's not like stuff that's signed or famous or whatever, just because I want to noodle around with toys and shit that I just bought in Pro Tools and audio. So I'm all about it. Yeah. So I got that. And who knows, man? When I got these releases coming up, I got the Down record coming out. So that came out great. Everybody's really excited about that. Everybody's stoked on it. UKJ, I mean, hopefully it is coming out this year. I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know when. I still haven't gotten any kind of news of like what the release date would be on it. But man, yeah, it's such. And I went and listened to it recently, and I'm just like, yeah, it's standing up, because this is one of those things where it can happen, like where we made this. Fuck, like I don't know, shit. I think we started writing it, being Wit. Yeah, dude, I think it was as early as like. Now it was 2024, I believe, right? We started to really kick in and kind of get the idea to record it, and so that's a lot. I mean, it's a while. We're working on like 2 years over a year since we finished up all the mixes and all that stuff. I think. Am I wrong about that? S Maybe not. Maybe not a year. But the initial recordings and things of getting it together have now been over a year. And so sometimes if you don't get it and throw it out in the moment, it can come out like later. You go back and listen to it, and you're thinking, yeah, this we would have been better just to strike while the iron's hot, because you can not like it as much later. But in this case, really like it still. I'm like, damn, this is a great record. Because there is an old saying that it's when it's released and it's out, then you no longer can have an opinion about it because it is just part of history, right? It's there, you're done. But if you got something lingering, I've always had that problem where if it's still lingering, I kind of might want to go in there and fuck with it one more time. And so even though a year later, it's the first time I've listened, I don't know, maybe 8 months later, let's say, I thought, fucking A, all right, should I go in and change these things I hear? And I'm like, no, I shouldn't, because it's not about that anymore. It's about the end listener. And in the end, honestly, the new gatekeeper is fucking social media. So no matter how good our record is, collectively, now, of course, I'm fucking rocking now social media, but if we don't collectively have the band somehow build the account larger, then we'll have expected results. They're all pretty much, you could just map it right out as to what kind of growth have we had. So how will people hear it? What are the chances of any piece of it going viral if there's not an initial growth on any kind of social media platform? It becomes really difficult. The numbers, percentages get really small. You're into the lottery zone of like just rolling the fucking dice. Unless it depends. I mean, social media is the way to get it out there. And the Ugly Kid account's not that active. It's more of a, I mean, they might hate me for saying that, but it's a maintenance account for all. It's not really growing. Like, we're not gaining a lot of followers on average and those types of things. And we're not putting out the minimum 3 reels a week of, it's something called Talking Head, right? Which is any of the bands that have a social media mommy, basically, like Corrosion and Crowbar and those guys. Well, you see them every single day. Like, there's not a day that goes by you don't see Corrosion. I don't know if you follow Corrosion. They're on there every fucking day, during a tour. So it remains to be seen whether the Whit and Klaus and those guys will want to become more active and involved in it on a daily basis on tour. I mean, there's just people are now they're expecting every band, because they're used to seeing all these bands, because the bands are now doing that. They're used to seeing a piece of their lives each day, and it's really only 30 seconds of your own life. And all it really is is grabbing the phone, and even if you do the regular public service announcement, which most of them don't, I think it's better if you don't. Even if you're like, "Hey, what's up? It's Dave from Ellie Joe. We're here at the train station. We're in the bus here doing this," but at least somewhere along the day, give an update to the fans of what's going on. People expect that, and they're getting it from other bands. And that is exactly what any kind of social media manager would have anyone do right now. You know, so I'm still waiting to see if that side of Ugly Kid will pick up, because that is probably the only thing that would really, I mean, that could. Well, you have to build the account. I mean, you got to get between Insta and TikTok. That's where everybody's getting their music. That's where everybody gets ideas to go to concerts. I mean, the new world of the algorithm favoring reels now is incredible. The swarm effect that's happened. I mean, I just saw it happen. Here's a really good example of how powerful this is, right? The algorithm by favoring reels now. I go to an Evanescence concert, right? I go see Amy. So me and my girlfriend ran the numbers on this. Okay, so if I'm sitting in the audience, there are 20,000 people sold out, Tampa Bay, right? In the shed. Well, let's put a lowball average of 15,000 phones out recording. Now, I'm only one of those 15,000. So I had a under 30-second clip of Amy singing the bridge in Bring Me to Life, right? So just my one account that's at the time only had 12,000 followers, right? Well, just my one account with one fucking reel has now done over it's at 2.1, I think, million views. That's just me. I have 200,000 likes on that thing. Now, that's just one dude, one night out of a whole tour, each show being sold out like that. Now, you talk about some serious fucking advertisement. And this is the sole reason that bands are now blowing up so big. Amy's audiences had decreased down to being, in some cases, 2 to 3,000 in theaters, right? I saw her in New Orleans. It couldn't have been maybe 3 or 4,000 people there. Now they're selling out 20,000 seats in sheds because of the viral content possibilities just from individual people that are. I mean, imagine there's other influencers that have bigger accounts than me that were in that audience that night. I'm sure there were. There could have been 20 other people that have accounts that are 100,000 or more that also posted reels with Amy. And so you can imagine the growth. That's just Tampa Bay. Now let's look at the growth across the world doing the same thing going to Instagram. You know what I mean? So how many combined extra views did that band get just by going on tour? This is the beauty of social media. It's incredible when you fucking really sit back and think about it. It's insane.
That's where I discovered a lot of newer modern bands is actually on Instagram, because they would just put those little clips out there. And of course,
Yeah.
I am a sucker for a good hook, a good chorus, and it drew me right to them.
Yeah, the numbers are something like 84% of the population now is getting new music fed to them and their ideas from between the two biggest real platforms, right? Which are TikTok and Insta. Now, YouTube technically has larger numbers overall because there's 2 billion fucking people going there, but in a different sense. There's a lot of different stuff on YouTube. Now, that's a big factor too, but the big two in music, the number one is TikTok, which, I've had one social media manager I talked to called it the new record label because it literally is. These two things are really the gatekeeper. You're dead in the water if you're not in reels right now. And you can see people jumping on, and I'd say in 6 months it'll start to feel caboose-ish. Like you're like I'm on the fucking engine. Thank God I caught it in enough time to start getting pretty much whatever kind of content I want. Now I'm streamlining, of course, down to documentary and informational stuff that I know people like.
Well, you just gave me a great idea. I need to get on that train because mostly I'm just doing posts out there, and I didn't do a lot of reels, but
Even the smallest accounts, right? Uh, Especially on TikTok. Now, here's the difference. I'll tell you the algorithm differences, right? Instagram is going to start with your followers first, get you out based on shares and things like that. And still, no matter what, get you out to people that haven't seen you. TikTok, however, goes right to new audiences, which means you could be a fucking account with 2 people following you, and you might go viral because it exposes you to new audiences. That's why TikTok is so important to artists and bands right now, because it's all new fucking people can see you. You know, I'll just use us as an example, right? If we look at the science behind social media, uh, now what is the best move for us? Well, of course, the best move for us would be to try to go conquer TikTok. Uh, how do you do that? Well, that's not easy to do. You need to. A lot of people call it the 6 months challenge on TikTok. If you want to compete, can you put a video out every fucking day for 6 months in a row of you saying something, of you being on camera for 6 fucking months? I'm only in month 6 right now, and I don't do it every day, but I have a lot of videos. I'm upwards of like 50 something different reels now in 6 months since February 18th. I'm pretty stoked on myself for even doing it, and it's a gut wrenching fucking experience, and it's not easy. Every time I wake up, I start panicking a little bit about it, but it's getting when you get some success, it gets a lot easier. But it's not fun, man, when you got people taking shots, and you got to get used to the idea that people are going to go for negative comments, because that's what the world's built on, and that is what drives the algorithm. And disagreements drive shares, they drive all of it. Unfortunately, it ain't all fucking roses. That is a good example. Like Ugly Kid would be a band like that would right now want to heavily focus on TikTok and on Instagram. I'm not in charge of that whole thing. I kind of got them lit on the whole social media thing, but I don't think it really did a whole lot. But I'm not, we can do whatever because we're older. We enjoy making music. We're great friends still. So I'm not going to push them anymore on social media stuff like that. We'll see how it works out when they start touring and we get closer to the record. Hopefully they'll increase the amount of exposure. If not, that's fine. They tour their butts off, and they certainly are amazing live with an insanely great frontman still to this day, and sings his ass off, and that's plenty, for what we're doing right now. But for advice to anyone else out there, and it doesn't matter what you do, today's world is that the algorithms favoring reels means basically people expect you now, no matter what you're selling, it could be anything. Like, for example, I'm getting work now from people seeing me talk about documentaries. And when they first see me, they don't know that I'm a mixer or producer, right? They find that out because you sell yourself first with something, whatever it is you want to say on fucking line. You could be about shit, it's raining outside and I'm fucking drinking a Coke or something. You can say whatever. But people fall in love with you because they're just seeing your face constantly on the internet. And people do. It's the effect of like getting to know someone personally, almost like you're in the room with them. And so when they do that, then what do they do? Well, they go to your account and then they look on there and figure out, oh, what the fuck? I had a couple of people now. Well, not a couple, fucking shitloads of people now that'll DM me, and they'll be like, holy fuck, dude, I had no idea that you were in Ugly Kid Joe, or it'll be the guy that produced like Evanescence or whatever, Slipknot. So they get to your resume after they've already bought into you. The first people that got to see it are going to be people you know, right? And you'll see this tons of times when you look at instructional reels on Insta or TikTok. People are telling you that's the biggest problem is people give up because they can't handle the social part of it, which is, that part's rough because you're going to have people that are like just not used to seeing you. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what are you doing, bro? And so getting over that part, and it takes time. You imagine like the roller coaster's insane. Mine is. I literally was like, I don't want to do this anymore just 2 weeks ago.
I got one for you. Did you see the news from People Magazine that MySpace is going to be relaunched?
Yeah, my girlfriend just brought that up. Wow, fuck! I was gonna Google that today and look that up and see what's going on. Yeah, fuck. I wasn't a social media guy until waited forever. I didn't even get on till 2016.
You really did
Yeah,
wait forever.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't. I looked at it and all that, but I just didn't really see any real need. Actually, there's a need for it. There was from the minute it came out. I didn't understand it really, but it'd be interesting to see what MySpace does, and certainly if it's somewhere I need to be mirroring, goddamn right, I'll be all over this shit because it's certainly incredible. Right out of the gate too, you can see it. If you start doing reels, even on a small scale, even if first goal I would say for anybody, right, is not really looking at right away like who cares, whatever, look, likes and all that stuff, not really, but check to see what kind of views you're getting under the reels category. And most people can end up getting a few thousand that really don't have a whole lot of fucking likes and all that stuff. And so if you can do that, then that means there are people looking, and you just got to keep hammering it out, you know. And if nothing else, it really does make your friends that you already love really happy to see you all the fucking time. It really does. Uh, and I can't believe the amount of people that have reached out. Just tons of people that, of course, projects I can't actually do or just too much. There's too many things going on, but I have to turn down a bunch of them. But the fact that they actually have been alerted to my presence just from literally from me sitting right there, you can see it, you can recognize it. I sit right there and talk about some stupid shit, and these motherfuckers watch it, and like it, and start sharing it and commenting on it, all that stuff. Fascinating, man.
Oh, it
But
is,
that,
man.
yeah. Well, so I'm talking a lot about social media on this round of the podcast because it's recently been such a fascinating thing for me and such a fucking hard journey. It's not easy. Fuck, that shit's hard.
I don't mind you talking about it at all because, it's given me some insight and, it is a music podcast, but you know what? Sometimes we just got to branch out and talk about different things.
Yeah, and most people that are interested in listening, that every damn musician uh, is faced with this now. It's just the way the world is. I mean, it's just really. Of course, there's a million. Well, actually, that's not right. There's not a million ways to go about it. There's only a few different ways to go about it, right? And if you're trying to get to the next place higher from where you are as a band, uh, I could see it happening from live performances. If you're absolutely incredible and you can draw a following in a local environment that's so big that it can't be denied, and therefore the audience then will put you on social media without you having to do it. But I can't see any other way around it. And even then, you're still indirectly on social media because someone else is putting you on there. Like you can't even play if you were so big that you played a concert with 500 people every night in a hometown, and you're like, I don't want to do social media. Well, you're still on social media because if there's 500 people in the audience, guaranteed 100 at least of those people are going to put you up on the fucking internet. You can't really run. I mean, it's just the way things are. You're going to be on reels no matter what, because what are you going to do? Have everybody check their fucking phone at the front door, you know? And in that case, you're already out there. You might as well just make reels on your own and put a page up, I mean, with a podcast and stuff, I'd hit the shit out of TikTok and Instagram right away. Just do some reels, man. People buy people now. And then they'll get to the podcast secondary. Yeah, but they'll dig you for sure. I love talking to you. I can't wait to see you on a fucking reel.
I
I like that shit every goddamn time.
I appreciate that, man. That's something I'm definitely going to look into. Going to have a little bit of downtime this weekend and kind of
Yeah.
poke around and noodle in it, like you said.
Yeah, that's all you got to do. Just get your feet wet. Even if it's just, and I'll tell you, here's what got me, man, is I started to run into, we'll just use the term my girlfriend uses, right? Now, talking head means there's no editing or anything. It's just you pick up the phone and you just start doing whatever you're doing in the moment. Now, I started to realize, holy fuck, the movie industry. And the guy that got me completely turned around and the whole idea was Alec Baldwin. I'm like, this dude, and looking like hell, man. I mean, you can see some of his reels. He's just sitting in the car. He's like, this coffee shop, something, blah, blah, blah. And it's the greatest because he's not like, hey, it's Alec Baldwin. No, he's just like, turns on the phone. He's all, yeah, so I'm here at this coffee shop. And his eyes are all bagged out. His hair is all fucked up. Kevin Bacon, too, man. And I started to realize, and I saw Annie Lennox, Eurythmics, and looking like hell, no man, and I was like, oh, this is exposure world now. You're allowed, you want to show everybody who you really are So there's not a shock factor after. So like you show up in a movie looking all old, nobody's seen you in 6 months, and you look fucking old up. It's a shock. But on social media, people are now exposing themselves all the way to just zero, like as worst as they could look. I even tried one like that. I sat on the couch and I was scruffy in my hair. I don't ever let my hair grow out that long. And it was one where I was talking about what do people do when football season's over, and I'm sitting on the fucking couch. I just wanted to see if anybody, and sure enough, I got like 7,000 fucking views on that stupid fucking video. But just and for your personal sake, right? That's the thing to do is go look at other reels, especially the talking head was, man. Look at Alec Baldwin, how rotten he looks on some of these things, and he don't give a fuck. Another one is genius as fuck. This has over 2 point something million views on it. And I swear to God, I started falling in love with him because of reels too. Is Dave Mustaine. He's got one where he's just eating French fries somewhere, and he's like, wish you could be here. If you were here with me, we'd be eating French fries. And he just does them. I mean, he's just naturally doing a reel, and it's not like, hey, it's Dave Mustaine from Metallica, which is fine too. If you need to announce, like, you're turning on the camera and you're like suddenly aware of this camera, but the natural version of all this is most of the population wants to just see you in your natural element. My thing, I've done some talking heads, but my majority is, I know my crowd likes me to do documentary stuff and in the edited versions, and that's my personal thing. I probably will incorporate more talking heads, as I have in the past. I did all kind of different ones, standing in the kitchen. But those are the easiest to do, and they are the fastest way to start to generate a new audience. It's just you just pull the fucking phone out, or if it could be podcast related for you and what you're actually doing. But at some rate, bro, just people will love you for it. Your friends will love you for it. You don't look like the person that would really give a fuck about naysayers anyway. You look pretty confident and funny. I'm sure if we met in a bar, we'd fucking be friends instantly. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's an interesting and cool thing to do. I'm glad I did it. It's helped me have a new chapter, really, of a new challenge in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of funny you said that. My youngest son is 11, and he made this TikTok reel. He asked me, he's like, Dad, can I make a TikTok reel about you? And I'm like, okay, whatever. And this was just the other day. And I didn't know when he was going to do it, but he had it recording, and he goes, Dad, you know something? You are really mid. And I looked at him like, what the hell does mid mean? He goes, well, Dad, he goes, I could tell you, you still wouldn't understand it because you're kind of just like right there in the middle of everything. But for your sake, I'm just going to tell you you're midlife. He's like, you'll understand it better. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I get it now, but yeah. So, yeah. Hell, my kid's a step ahead of me.
Mid is like, what does it mean? What is the definition? I forget. What does it mean exactly? Like when they say mid,
you're not cool, but you're not a nerd.
Yeah, medium, like medium guy.
Yeah.
Medium.
So
yeah, that becomes what your life is, and so yeah, I always suggest anybody that even thinks about doing them, just get in, get your feet wet, because it's going to get overrun. I can feel it. You see all sorts of people starting to do reels now. I just saw fucking Queens of the Stone Age, Josh Homme, doing a comedy reel in a fucking bathroom or something. I was like, oh fuck, it's happening. Weezer doing reels now, doing comedy shorts. List goes on and on and on. It's just gonna keep piling on. Get more crowded. And another thing is to get you really hyped is read the algorithm guidelines. Just look it up. Like the 2025 list of algorithm guidelines is fascinating. It tells you exactly what to do. It's a fucking cheat sheet. It's a fascinating world, and studying it, it'll get you into it. Trust me. Yeah. So there you go.
Well, you got me pumped up about it.
Yeah, that's my journey in this thing, and I'm kind of digging it, man. Results are what help. But yeah, if you're trying to push a podcast, if I was like your social media manager, I'd have you doing reels fucking all the time for every podcast.
That's it. You are going to actually see me starting reels, and I'm going to tag you in the very first one.
Okay, good, perfect. And I'm gonna give you the fucking thumbs up, high five comment. Fucking A.
Oh, you got to give me love, man.
Oh, I will. That'd be great if
Oh,
I do. No, that'd be great if I do a disagreement when. Yeah, but you forgot.
that's going to be my next comment.
Oh man, yeah, the hate engagement's been a real skin thickening fucking device for me. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh
Oh,
man, that's good. That's great, man. Dave, I hate to wrap this up because I have learned so much. I 100% enjoyed today's
cool.
podcast.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
this is great. I've been wanting to talk about this entire journey of mine on social media. Uh, and some of the people, when I get this thing advertised as well. I'm doing stories for everybody on podcasts. I just got one blasted right now from another one I did. So it gets a lot of responses though, and people go check them out. So I've been wanting to kind of talk about this. So this is the only podcast I've really had a good chance to talk about it. So it rules. I like it.
I'm fucking
Yeah.
honored, dude.
Yeah, man.
Hell
Stoked.
yeah. Dude, again, thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure, man.
And
Fuck
you,
anytime. Yeah. So let me know.
and you know what? The only thing I'm upset about is you are not going to be in the Berg with Ugly Kid Joe on August 25th.
Nope. Uh, I am done touring. I can't. It's too much for me. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just it doesn't appeal to me, man. The touring, and plus, I'm such a I'm that guy. I'm a producer mixer. Uh, and when I'm not working, I am studying, man. And I swear to God, I can't use in ears. I've never done it. And when we have monitors, it's too loud, man. I can feel it just destroying my ears when I play, and it's not fun. I can't do that anymore. It's tiring. It's just a lot of travel. I don't know. I'm out.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I can feel you on that. The older I get, the more of a homebody I want to be. Not saying you are, but that's just how it is for me anymore.
Yeah, no, I am for sure. I'm definitely that guy. I love it. Yeah, yeah. I'm
All
all
right,
about it.
Dave. Well,
Well, good deal.
you too, man. Listen, I will let you know when this is going to air. I appreciate you so much for taking your time to be back
Rad,
here
brother.
on the Youth Gone Mild podcast.
Cool, man. All right, let's talk soon, brother.
I just want to give a huge thank you to today's guest and/or guest for sharing the stories and the moments that remind us why rock music still has us banging our heads today. Whether it's a legend who helped build the soundtrack of our lives or the new blood keeping that volume turned up, every artist has a story worth hearing. So, to all my fellow Gen Xers out there and millennials, keep those old vinyl records spinning, those cassettes turning, and the CD tracks skipping loud enough to embarrass your kids and possibly your grandkids. And to the younger generation discovering classic and modern bands for the first time, welcome to the party. So go dig deeper, explore the music, and find out why we still say we're rockin' like dockin'. And no, I will not be explaining that any further. I'm Gen X Joe, coming to you from the Wherever I May Roam studio, asking you to keep supporting the artist, keep discovering new music, and most importantly, keep rocking loud and living proud. We'll see you next time on the Youth Gone Mild podcast, where hairlines fade, but rock never does. Peace out. Props everyone for listening.